Hello and welcome to CICD Test. As you all know, the whole course is there for free on YouTube for you to learn and excel in software testing. But if in case you are facing any difficulties in cracking the interviews, then we have come up with a complete new approach for interview preparation. So over here, we have the interview preparation Java plus Selenium batch. This is a live batch for 2 months. The course duration is going to be for 2 months. This is going to give you a complete boost in your confidence, as confidence is simply a byproduct of the knowledge that you have. Now to support this, we have our mock interviews from industry experts. We have a pool of manual and automation testing experts from the industry, and we will all come to cater you the best ever experience of a mock interview session. We are also going to provide you a detailed report of this interview session, wherein you will be able to identify what are the areas that you have to focus and what are your strong areas, so that you can lead your interview in the same direction as per your knowledge. The number of interviews that we are going to cover in this mock interviews package for 3000 only is 2. So we are going to conduct 2 mock interviews, one mock interview to understand where you stand today, and the second interview will be conducted once you are ready with all the gaps covered as advised as a review of your first interview. Nevertheless, keep watching and learning for free. Happy learning, all the best.
So now, what I would request you to do is that you just go, and if you are practicing it along with the class, although there is no need, but if you are doing it really, then you have to go and create a new project. Okay, so you can have multiple types of projects. Okay, so just click on project, so it will showcase you a lot of projects over here. Okay, so what we are going to use as our Selenium project is the Maven project. Okay, now Maven project, if you will click on next, okay, just look at to this very carefully, guys. Okay, so the new project that you are going to create is by default going to accept. Now the moment it is going to come on to this screen, it is going to tell you over here, if you can see. Okay, it is saying retrieving archetypes. Okay, so just let it happen, and let it retrieve all the archetypes, because once the archetypes are retrieved, it will be listed in one after the other over here. Okay, one after the other. Okay, it will be listed over here like this. Okay, now it is done, and depending upon your net speed, it is going to come up on your screen. Okay, then what you have to write is maven hyphen archetype and hyphen quick start. Okay, this is what you have to type over here. Okay, so I'm giving this to you in the chat box itself as well. Okay, so this is what you have to type in your new Maven project screen over here. Okay, and inside this you have to take the latest one, which is what, 1.4 version. Okay, so just take 1.4, guys. Why we are doing this? Because this is the most compatible way to start your Selenium project. Okay, so now in the group ID, we are going to keep everything same. So let's say I'm saying November batch. Okay, November batch, and before that I'm saying automation project, and this is November batch. Okay, and the same thing I'm going to keep inside. See, guys, your there will be no spaces that will be accepted. See, cannot contain spaces. So just be sure about that you cannot use spaces over here. You cannot use you know any uh, see, any special characters you cannot use. Okay, and let me see, any numbers, of course numbers you can use. Okay, so this is how you're going to keep your group ID and artifact ID. Okay, and then just click on finish. Okay, so what you will see is that your creating Maven quick start project is started over here, if you will see it. Okay, so now if you will go to your console, it will say that okay, fine, it will give you all the logs over here, you know and at the end, if you will see, it will give you you know a user input option. So if you will click, if you will type N over here and you press enter, then your project will not be created. And if you type Y over here and press enter, your project is created now. Now if you will go and to if you will check your perspective, here is your project. Okay, so guys, we are only going to touch base with what kind of project is our automation project, and what are the things that are there inside this project. So first of all, what you have to do is, first of all, you have to, you know okay, inside your, you know POM. So first of all, what you have to do is you have to first delete all the packages inside src main Java and src test Java. Always remember, guys, always delete these packages. Inside these packages, there will be default classes as well. So we do not want these default classes and default packages. So every time we are going to create our new project, we are definitely going to delete the custom, the default uh, packages and classes that are there in src main Java and src test Java. Okay, so to delete, just simply right click and delete, and press on OK, and simply delete. Click on OK, it'll be deleted. Okay, so now our src main slash Java and src slash test slash Java are both empty folders. Okay, okay. Now inside our, POM, let's see what our POM says. So pom.xml is a file, guys, because of which we are, you know, using our POM project, the Maven project. Okay. So this is the reason, this file is the reason why we are using our Maven project. Now you'll say, how do we, one file can, how can one file inside a project would decide what project we are going to create? Okay, then the answer for this is, so when I talk about 2011 to 2015, it is not like that your Maven project was not there. Okay, but we were majorly we were using the manual practice. And manual practice of what? Manual practice of adding jars. Okay, because back then, the technology was new, and there were no big community that has been created, and people were more using your qtp. Okay, it was a product with by HP. Earlier it was IBM. Okay, so qtp was in use, and this is having licensing problem. Okay, licensing problem was there. So there was a lot of mess up in the market, and we were adding jars manually. Okay, then came into the picture the Maven project. Okay, and there is one site. Okay, that if you will go and check, which is Maven repository. So what you have to do is you have to simply write over here Selenium. You have to Google it, Selenium Maven. That's it. Maven, if you want to add dependency, you can add dependency. So that's it. That's all you have to do. And you just go over here and click on to that, whatever file is the latest file. And you see that, okay, fine, these are the usage of it. And the latest one is, given in December 2023, which is December 7, which is a few days ago only. Okay, it has come up with a new version of it. But let me take a couple of older versions, and I am going to take, let's say, 4.12.1. And which one is this? This is 4. This is Selenium 4. So I am going to take this jar 4.12.1, seems the stable one, and I'm going to copy this, and inside this, see guys, you are required to take Selenium 4. Okay, it is not necessary that you take the latest one of Selenium 4, because see, if you are going to take a couple of older ones, then they are more stable, right? They are more in use and they are more stable compared to the latest one, because latest one are not really, you cannot depend on them much, because of course these are not beta versions and these are final version. You can definitely depend on them, but sometimes it are, some issues might occur, and the community might not be having answers for that. So if you're using your this version, which is Selenium 12.1, which is the latest version of 12 version, so if you're using this, so at least there will be some answers that you could get from the community. Okay, also you can use your Selenium 4.13, or you can try with any other latest ones. I'm not going to restrict you to do that. Okay, so I'm just going to take the Selenium 12 4.12.1, because I think that this is more stable and having more answers in the community if I got stuck somewhere while doing my work. Okay, so you can take your decisions as per your choice. Okay, so over here, guys, there are dependencies. Do you see this? So whatever a project is going to have, so see, these are the Maven dependencies, and over here you have your JUnit jar dependencies, and see, this is the JUnit dependency, right? Because of this code, you are having all the jars over here for JUnit 4.11, and see, the same version it is mentioned over here, right? And your Hamcrest also. Okay, now, guys, what you have to do is see whatever your dependencies are going to be, located. This is an XML file, which is extensible markup language file. Okay, it is a updated version of HTML. Okay, now your, if I make it big, yeah, like this. So can you see that you have dependency stack and you have a closure of dependency stack, right? And there is one dependency tag and there is one closure of dependency tag. Okay, so this is quite clear that all the dependencies will be listed inside these dependency stack. Okay, with the tag dependency and the closure tag dependency. Okay, so this one is clear. So whatever I have to give using the scope of dependency tag, right? And if you see carefully over here, if you click on 4.12.1, okay, or whichever version you want to click, if you will scroll, see over here what it is saying, that your dependency tag should start with dependency, and your whole thing is mentioned over here. So just need not to copy your URL. You will definitely reach it whenever you will want to reach over there. So you simply copy your dependency, okay, and just copy it and just paste it under the dependency of JUnit. Okay, under the dependency of JUnit, you just simply paste it. Control Shift F, it will format the whole page for you. And see, nothing has started to build. So far, nothing has started to build, right? So your dependency tag again will have been listed after your first dependency, which is JUnit. So earlier this project was having one dependency, which is JUnit, and now this project is having one more dependency, which is Selenium API. Which version? Selenium 4. Okay, now the moment I will see, guys, over here you have Maven dependencies, Hamcrest, and JUnit. Okay, now the moment I will click on Control S, okay, it will start building the project and it will start including the Selenium dependencies. Okay, it will start including all Selenium dependencies. Just a second, guys. Let me see if you are okay. Okay, great. So the moment I press on Control S, it will start building the project and it will start adding the Selenium jar, all jars dependency over here. Okay, so I'm clicking on Control S now, and you just keep your eye over here and also over here. Okay, what changes are going to be done? So I'm pressing Control S, done. See, now it is saying building, and over here, see, all my jars are added, right? And building is done. Okay, so now I need not to be worried about okay, what all is added and what all is left. See, it has added everything for Selenium. Okay, dev tools, Chromium, driver, everything. It whatever I'm going to, you know, whatever I have to do, I can simply do using this Maven dependency. Okay, so I have complete dependencies there inside my Maven project like this. So even if I want to go and check the jar, which is this one, see how many dependencies I have, right? So my work is, so the first work of an automator, the first work of the automator is to automate their own work, right? So by doing this, can we say that I have automated my work of adding dependencies manually? Right? Definitely yes. Right? So I have added Selenium to my project. I have added Selenium what? Selenium API to my project. Now I can use the library of Selenium to do all my automation. That whatever I want to do. That's simple. It's really that simple, guys. Okay. Now inside this, I'm going to create one package, my src slash main slash java. Do not touch your src slash test slash java. We are going to touch that once, we complete our Selenium API learnings. After like 11, 15 to 20 classes, we are going to touch our, Selenium test java, because then we are going to understand your TestNG and all that. There we will be requiring your that package. But till then, if you are practicing only your Selenium API, you can do it inside your src slash main slash java. Okay, so let's say I am writing like Selenium practice. Okay, Selenium practice is my class name. Sorry, method name. And then inside this, I am going to, in fact, rename this. Okay, refactor, rename, not Selenium practice, Selenium sessions, I should say. Okay, like this. Okay, now it is renamed as Selenium sessions, and I'm going to create another class inside this, which will be what? Any class I can create, guys. Okay, so let's say my pilot class is this. Okay, I'm naming it as pilot class. Okay, and inside this I'm going to have my main method. For now I am going to have my main method. Later when we discuss our frameworks and all that, we are not going to have our main method, and whatever code we are going to write, we are going to write using the TestNG annotations. Okay, now guys, see, earlier, again, I should tell you the history behind this. Okay, earlier, if let's say I write web driver, okay, driver equals new Chrome driver. Okay, so the moment you write this line, it is going to tell you that please inherit, or please add as an import. So I just simply press Control Shift, you know, and O. So all the imports are organized over here. That your web driver is coming from org Openga Selenium, because your Selenium library and your all dependencies are there in your project, and also Selenium dot open qa, and your Selenium Chrome and Chrome driver is also there. Now you have to use your driver and just use whatever you want to use from here. Okay, the library of WebDriver and the overridden methods of WebDriver class inside my Chrome driver, like we have seen this in, this is what, this is stop casting only. Remember, this is stop casting, right? This is stop casting only of WebDriver interface. Now what is WebDriver? WebDriver is an interface which is extending what? Search context. So this is also an interview question, guys. Okay, so your WebDriver is an interface. This is an interface, okay, which is being extended by your classes, which is Chrome driver. Okay, and there are many more other childs like Deco driver and Edge driver and Safari driver of WebDriver. But WebDriver is also extending someone, and that is search context. Okay, this is the major main class, the search context class. Okay, so this is also an interview question, that okay, what is WebDriver class, WebDriver interface extending? Which interface it is extending? It is extending search context. And how do we know that search context is an interface? Because extends keywords is used. And if we go over here, search context is this. Do not change anything over here, guys. Okay, do not touch these classes. Okay, these are all Selenium WebDriver API classes. Never touch them, or else they will not work as they are required to work. Okay, Now I have everything over here. Now I want to tell you one more history. Okay, there is some history behind this Selenium 4. So earlier we used to have our WebDriver 3. Okay, so people might ask you that what is the major difference that you see in WebDriver 4, that Selenium WebDriver 4 that has been changed in WebDriver 4, and it was really really a problem in WebDriver 3. Okay, so the basic problem, and it was there in all automators life, guys. Okay, so earlier there was one method that we used to call our this particular what do you call your Chrome driver. Okay, or you want to open your open browser. If you want to open your browser, then you have to do this. Okay, you have to give the complete value, so you have to set the system property. So system dot set property. Okay, set property, and then you have to give the key and the value. Okay, key and the value, and you have to keep your whatever driver you want to run your project on, you have to keep this driver inside your system, and you have to give the value of that whole path where you have you know kept that driver, and then you have to also give the key. And usually the key was WebDriver Chrome driver. Okay, so this was used to happen. I mean, this is the ideal way earlier to do things. Okay, but then people have come up from this particular ways of doing things, and they have switched to bonnie garcia bonnie garcia API. Okay, now who is bonnie garcia? Bonnie garcia is one guy who has developed one API. Okay, and he said that you need not to do all this thing. Okay, your you know see, whenever you are keeping your Chrome driver dot exe, if you are keeping your Chrome driver dot exe inside your system, and you are giving the value of that, then you are simply telling that this is the version of Chrome that I want to use. Okay, then the basic problem over here is that you, whatever exe file you have had in your system, your Chrome browser, your browser is up getting updated automatically. So let's say you have a file of Chrome browser which was, let's say, 1 point, let's say 10. Okay, and now your browser has automatically been updated to 1.11. Okay, so the 10th version of Chrome was updated to 11th version. Now your 10th version exe file will not run. Okay, this will simply not run. This will not run. Okay, so this was the biggest issue. Then came into the picture Bonnie Garcia. Okay, this guy told that you need not to do anything. Okay, you just have to implement my API, and you will find this API, simply by just going over to the YouTube, or not YouTube, just Google it, and just Google it Bonnie Garcia, you know, WebDriver Manager API, like this. Okay, and just write Maven in front of it so that you get the Maven repository. So the here is Bonnie Garcia. Okay, it is getting updated day by day as well. So what this Bonnie Garcia, and then it is also in dependency in similar way that you have added your dependency of Selenium, you can also add the dependency of Bonnie Garcia. Now what Bonnie Garcia dependency did was that your Chrome exe or Chrome driver exe or whatever file name was that, you can refer to this file, and this file gets automatically updates, and you know itself, as per the you know version of Chrome browser inside your system. Okay, similar is for others as well. Okay, so automatically updates. So now there was no problem like before. There was some problem, right? That whenever I'm executing my test case, if my Chrome browser's version is updated, then my Bonnie Garcia is not there, and my normal system.set property with key and value pairing is there, then whatever Chrome exe I'm keeping, if it is not updated, it is not able to execute my test cases automatically using Chrome or whatever browser. I'm just taking an instance of Chrome over here just to explain you. Okay. Now Bonnie Garcia, and the Bonnie Garcia, it is getting updated automatically, and it is picking the latest version, whatever latest version you are having. It is just simply picking the latest version to execute your test cases. Okay. But since when, the Chrome 116 version, okay. So right now, which version of my Chrome is there? Okay. So if I go to settings, okay, and if I check which, version of Chrome is this, so about Chrome, I have to go, and this is 119. Okay. So after 116, okay, now it is again updating. Okay. Again, it is updating the whole thing. Okay. So whatever it is doing, let it do, and we will, will be done once it is done. Now this is what? This is my 119 version. So after 116 version, this Bonnie Garcia file is not very, depending. This is not very dependable. This Bonnie Garcia file. Okay, now it is updated 100%. Okay, this Bonnie Garcia file is not much dependent after my 116th version. Okay, so now till then Selenium 4 has come into the picture. Okay, and the same thing that Bonnie Garcia did, Selenium guys also did. Okay, and they said just simply use WebDriver. Okay, WebDriver equals new Chrome driver. Okay, and just this line would be enough. Okay, no need to set properties, you no need to do Bonnie Garcia and stuff. Just do this and do driver dot get URL. Whatever URL you are going to state over here, you are going to get that URL open in front of your eyes. Okay, so just now I have updated my Chrome. Okay, now let's see if I go and try to get some URL. Okay, like this, get string URL. Inside this, if I write the URL of, let's say, Google. Okay, uh, Google I want to reach, and I want to reach google.com like this. Okay, so can I do that inside this? So always copy your URL directly from here, because then only the complete URL will be copied, and if you are only copying the complete URL, it is going to run. Okay, now if I run this one, is it really executing or getting me to the right URL? Look at the console. See, it is opening the Chrome browser, and just now I have updated this Chrome browser, guys. Right? Just now in front of you, I have updated this Chrome browser, and it is working perfectly fine. So Selenium 4 has, did this for us, that you need not to add any, system dot properties and all that stuff. You need not to do that. You need not to worry about, Bonnie Garcia failing today but working yesterday. You need to, worry about that as well. You just have to simply come and write this line, and just simply write driver dot get URL, and you will be good to go. So always go in your, if your companies are also not using it, then you can advise them also that it is outdated now, and you can simply use the same line, web driver equals new Chrome driver, to invoke the driver, and it will be automatically invoked by the Selenium people, and your test case will be executed for sure. Okay, So instead of this, if you want to, you want to keep this as the URL, you can do that as well. So let me do one thing. I'm copying this and then I'm writing this over here and I'm commenting this one. And over here, I am copying this URL and I am adding this URL now. So can I jump onto this URL directly using this? Let's see. Am I able to, jump on that URL directly? Yes, I am able to do that. See, I am directly on this URL now, right? So this is how your automation is so simple. I mean, you might have, seen a lot of automation happening and you might have done it yourself as well. But you might, have used your Bonnie Garcia file or you have used your, Selenium typical system.set properties and all that. Okay, but you are not going to get it that simple if you haven't done your Java lessons. Of course, it's one line and two line, no need for Java lessons for this line, but now you understand it better, right? Now whenever you are writing any line, you understand it in more deep manner. Like say this is your interface, you are creating a web driver. Driver is the, you know your object reference over here, and you are creating the heap memory, you are creating Chrome driver child class, you are creating the object of Chrome driver, so that whatever methods are overridden in Chrome driver, which are there in web driver interface, you can access all of them, right? So now the moment you use driver, you know that where exactly this get method is coming from, right? Where it is declared and where it is defined. It is declared in WebDriver method, WebDriver interface, and it is defined inside your Chrome driver class, right? So this is how the whole thing is, new to you and, more understandable to you. And from the interview perspective also, you are able to, you know, tell, okay, fine, this is something which I know very much in deep. Now let's say I want to get the current URL. Okay, so now guys, the introduction part is done. We are going to explore the Selenium API. So let's say I want to get the current URL, and I want to get this current URL and I want to again see, I want to print this current URL. So I can do one more thing, that I can take this current URL and I can keep this inside what? Inside my, yeah. So okay, what is happening? What is the issue? Okay, my method to be here. Yeah. So I am keeping this inside my system.out.println, but you can also save it inside one variable and you can use that variable to print. Okay, that we have seen earlier, that you can do as well. Okay, now if I'll run this, I'm getting what? Whatever URL I have given over here, I should get it in the console as well, right? Once it is executed, I am getting the complete URL over here like this. So to get the current URL, I can simply, use this method. Okay. Now guys, what I have to do is I have to, you know, get the page source as well. Let's say I am getting, I want to get the page source, then I can simply, print driver dot get page source like this. Right now, if I will run this, let's see what will happen. Okay. See, now in your console, your complete page source is there. See, the complete page source is there. I don't know what is happening. Let it be. So your complete page source is there, guys. See, and it's a huge page source. And before that, here is your URL, right? So your HTML page source is starting from here, and your final HTML tag to end your page source is over here, right? So this is how your page source is getting printed. So it's a huge one. Okay. Now guys, what you have to do is you have to check one more thing. Let me, have this page source thing comment it because it will print a lot of lines in the console. Okay, so inside this, what I have to do is, okay, let me deal with this later. Inside this, what I have to do is I have to simply, driver dot. Let's see if I'm able to close this one. Okay, if I'm able to close this one. Okay, I want to execute, this. I want to get this URL, and then I want to, get my current URL, and I want to close my current window. See, guys, all my windows that I have used so far are still open. See, I'm so sorry. So all my windows that I have opened to check and to showcase you are all open. So far, it is all open, right? This one is also open. Okay. So it is also saying that Chrome is being controlled by automated test software. Okay. So this is not your regular window. You will not be able to find your, profiles over here. This is not your regular window. Okay. This is your chrome.exe window. Okay. It is coming from there, all updated. Okay, so you will close this window, so you have to manually close it, right? So if you'll use your driver.close, the moment your, whatever execution you want to do, once it is done, once your driver is getting opened and your, driver dot get URL, the current URL is there in the console, it will simply close the window automatically. So let's see. Okay, now your URL is getting opened, and the moment I get, my, this I get over here, my window is closed. See, I do not have any other window over here. I do not have it. Okay. So simply this will close all my what? This will close my browser, right? Now there is one more thing, guys, which is driver dot quit. Okay. This is driver dot quit. Okay. Now if I, comment down this and I run it again, what will happen? Okay, what will happen? Again, it is quitting everything, but here, see, there is no error that has come up, right? I mean, this is doing the same thing that close, but earlier there was something that was coming as an error over here, but here, there was no error. So if I do it again, see to the console very carefully, guys. This is how the console looks if I use quit. Okay, and the browser version that has found is 116. See, okay. So if I simply, you know, do the close and I run this again, it is doing the same thing. Okay, exactly same thing it is doing, but my console says that okay, this is the URL, and then it said that connection reset. Okay, WebSocket listener on error or something it is saying, right? But now the browser is closed and everything is closed. Okay, but still the connection reset, the socket exception is coming. Okay,